Hello everyone, welcome back to again my channel, and this is a same series of C Sharp beginner concepts, and we have covered in last session, which is a part 5 in array, and now we will start our moving methods. So what are the methods and all? So let me create a new applications over here, create a new console applications, and here let me create a project name, which is a part 6 methods. Next, create and remove everything from here. So before I start, I would like to share the definition of that methods. So what are the methods? Methods are blocks of the code designed to perform a specific task. They can take a parameter and return types. So what are the methods? How we can declare the methods? And what are the return types and how we can assign the parameter and all. So those are things we will learn over here. So let's see in a practical example. So first what I will do, I will just create a method over here, like for example static, right? Static and void. So this is, I just mentioned as a void, that means it is not returnable type, so that means call it's a void. Okay. And I have to set a name, like whatever method name, as like we define a variable, like similar I can define as a name as a method name. Like for example, if I just create a method which is called is that greet user, right? And this is that parenthesis which we can pass a parameter and non-parameter as well. So now I will passing as a parameter over here, like this method accept as a parameter that is called as a name, right? And in this name, so whatever name, I will just return a back to a I just want to print a that I want to concatenate the name and just print out as a output, right? So let me just adding over here, for example, whatever the name, I will using the interpolations and I use that hello, and that using that whatever the input name I want to print out. So this is the way actually that declare the method with the parameter. And also if I want to create another method, like for example, see the method with this without without parameter, so I can use it like this way, like for example this, right? And I can just simply whatever things I want to print out, like for example hello world, right? So now see, this is the declaration method, but this time I have not I'm not giving any parameter, but this time I'm just passing a parameter, right? So those acceptable in this C# method concept, like we can create a method without parameter as well as with the parameter, right? So this is the way declare a parameter. And now let me call this method in our over here. So how we can call it this method? Simply I can call it this method over here. And now see, it is asking also, see, once I call this method, it is asking to the name as an input field, right? So once I name, like for example Karthik, right? Once I Karthik, and let me run this application. So before run this application, just select our current project, which is a method part 6, and run this application. And once you run this application, now see, whatever that input parameter I pass it Karthik, so they are concatenating over here, like as a input name, concatenating even as a printing over there, right? So this is way actually we can declare as a parameter and without parameter method and without return type. So this is a call a return types. So now let me call, or let me create another method which is a return type. So this is a not return type, so which will not returning anything. So right now see, if you see void, that means it is not return type. So now I have to create a return type method. So how we can create that? So again using same like static, and this time if I want to return type, so definitely I have to required set that data type. So this is a data type which will be return this method as like we have defined in our variable, right? So similar fashion I have to do that integer, and I will use add numbers, and then this also return type we can create a both way, with the parameter and without parameter. So I will use a parameter one, like a, like integer b, right? And in here, whatever logic I want, I just adding a logic over there, right? And simply I have to specify a return, right? So like this way you can declare as a return type method as well, right? So let me call this method again over here, and this time, see, once I use this guy, and also expecting this a and b, right? So let me pass, for example, 8 and 5, right? So this is our input value, 8 and 5, and this time this will returning a integer, like see, this time it is returning an integer. So I can store as a variable as over here integer total, right? And just store over here, and what I can do, I can simply print out this total as a console output. That's it. And now once I run this application, I will see that output is 8 and 5, it's 13. That means this function is working as expected, whatever our calculations, right? So like this way we can use this method, right? Like we can declare a method, we can initialize a method, and we can use that return type and non-return type as well. So this is the way we can declare a method. Now there's another concept over here, method overloading. Like for example, if I want to create a one method, same name, but it should be different parameter, right? But name would be same, but signature would be different. That is called a method overloading. And before that concept, actually first I will tell you that now the method concept in a one line, in a short, right? So method allowed to reuse the code. So this method, whatever method we are creating, so it is allowed to reuse the code, right? And you can pass data to the method through the parameter as we are passing over here, right? And get the result back with the return type. So whatever the data, if I want to get the data as a return type, so I can get back to as a return type. That is the whole concept of this method. Now moving to next concept, which is called a method overloading. So what is method overloading? So for method overloading, actually I have to create a class. So that class concept will become in an intermediate concept, but yeah, as of now I just simply create a class over here, and like for example I can make it any name, like my name or my class name, right? So this is a class. Inside that, because see, if I just create without class as a method, so I am not able to create the duplicate method. So for example, let me show you, like see, if I copy paste over here and just using integer c, right? So if I using this guy, now see, it is saying add number is already defined, right, in this scope. So this is a scope. Inside this scope it is defined, that's why it is not allowed to me. So for this, what I need to do, I have to just create another class, and in this class I will just create a method. For example, let me create a method, it's the same add number, but I will use this time a method overloading add number with the two input field, right, a and b, right? And but again, if I just copy this method over here, so it is saying it is ambiguity is already defined. But once I use integer c, so now see, the error has been gone and it is allowing to overload this method. And what I will do, I just put our additional logic over here, whatever our logic, and return back to that data. And how we can call it this method, this particular class method? So what I can do, simply here I can call it to simply I can use this console write line, and whatever that my name class, right? And here see, it is showing one method, right, but it is saying one overload also over there, right? So that means let me add this guy, and once you add, now see, you're able to see this two overload method over here, right? One is, let me show you one more time, like this guy. Now see, once you click this guy, once you up this guy up, it is allowed to me two method, two parameter like integer a and b. But once you use this method, same method, but it is as accepting three parameter, right? So let me add first one. Let me pass this two parameter. So like for example 6 and 10, right? And yeah, close this, and similar copy this guy, and this time 6 10, and this another parameter I will add in another 10, right? So this should be written like 6 10 equal means it is 16, and this one should be returning 10 10 20 26, right? So let me see in action. So now see, 16 is that output of this guy, and 26 is output of this overload method, which has three parameter. The two parameter is 16, three parameter is 26, right? So this is the way we can achieve, or we can use this overload method. So overall, if I talk about the concept in a one line, in a short, so method overloading allow you to define the multiple method with the same name, as I declare the same name, right? But different parameter. So different parameter, it should not be a same parameter. Like suppose I am using the two parameter, it should be 3, or it should be like data type like integer, so it should be a double or something, like signature should be a different, but name should be a same. So this is the way we can achieve this concept, right? And yeah, that's all for this session. And for upcoming session, we will learn for that comments, what are the comments in C# concept in beginner series. So that's all for this session, and thank you, have a nice day, and don't forget to like, subscribe and share.